Hello everyone, it's Lindsay and I am back with a fun process video for you guys. I'm going to be showing you how to take the trash from your revival camp kit and make a mini book. So these pieces of chipboard came packaged behind the devotionals and the stickers in the latest revival camp devotional kit from Illustrated Faith and Dayspring, which I will have linked down below. And I told you don't throw those away because we're going to make a mini book out of them. So I'm just tracing to make sure that they are the same size. And these are going to be the front and back covers of our book. So if you ordered this kit and did not order the add-on journal, or you don't have a blank journal or something like that, this is an option for you for a way to store and organize the devotionals from this kit, and the next 2 months are going to be the same. So these covers end up being 4 1/4 wide by 8 1/4 tall. And then I have this paper pad. This is the Faith collection from Simple Stories. And I found this paper that kind of corresponds with the kit. And we're going to be decoupaging basically. So I cut that paper down to 4 1/4 wide by 8 1/4 tall. That way it's the same size as this chipboard. And then I'm taking some matte gel medium. This one is from Liquitex, and just brushing some of this on to the chipboard. And so I don't know if you're a 90s, 80s girl and you remember decoupaging all the things. This is basically the same thing. So I imagine you could do this with Mod Podge or something like that, but I just have tons of matte gel medium, so that's what I'm using. So you want to make sure that you get plenty of the matte gel medium around the edges of that. That way the paper stays adhered down really well. I did that for the front and the back cover. Let it dry. I did heat it with my heat tool just a little bit to make sure it was dry. And now we're going to go in and distress this. So I love that Revival Camp is kind of vintage feel, and it's camping. It's dirty, guys. So I'm taking some Gathered Twigs Distress ink and just lightly blending a little bit of this around the edges of this paper. So at this point, I only have matte gel medium underneath the paper and it's dried. We will be sealing all this in with some matte gel medium over the top, but first we're going to sponge on that distress ink. And then I decided to add a little accent strip of this washi that comes with the Revival Camp kit. I'm just hitting that ink with my heat tool to make sure it's really dry before I lay the washi tape down. That way the washi tape does adhere to the paper. And so this is going to be the left side of the front cover here. And then I will go ahead and add a little bit of distress ink over the top of the washi tape also. Distress ink doesn't do well over slick surfaces like this, and it is water soluble. So this process is not perfect, but it does kind of give you a fun distressed look. And so we can make sure that that's good and dry. And then now we're going to go in and seal all of this. So like I said, distress ink is water soluble. So you want to be careful because the matte gel medium is going to reactivate that ink a little bit. So I'm making sure to start from the center of the page where there isn't a whole lot of ink and kind of work out to the edges. That way I'm not moving it around too much. If you were to use like a white paper as your cover, it would end up having a brown tinge to the whole thing as you brush this on, because that distress ink is getting activated and brushed all over the place. So I went ahead and did that for the front and the back, exact same steps, and got it good and dry. And now for the inside, you could do the same steps with the leftover paper that you have from that 12 by 12 sheet with the distress ink and the matte gel medium. However, I am filming this Thursday night and we are leaving to go camping for 4 days tomorrow morning, and I have packed nothing because I have been videotaping all day since Revival Camp just landed on my doorstep today. So I'm really in a crunch for time. So I decided to just go ahead and adhere it down with some tape, not distress the inside, and just keep it simple, because at this point I'm running out of time, guys. So I did want videos up for you guys while I was gone, and I couldn't wait to dig into Revival Camp. So if I'd had more time, I probably would have done the same steps to the inside cover, but it's fine. I just made sure to really get plenty of adhesive around the edges of that paper, and it's fine. The outside's pretty, the inside is pretty, just not as pretty as the outside. But I did go ahead and basically one 12 by 12 sheet of pattern paper completely does this project, and you get a little like 4 by 4 piece of scrap paper left over. So you only need one piece of paper to do both the front, back, and inside covers of this booklet, which I think is awesome. And this just kind of, you know, covers up that any messiness that's on the inside. And I also didn't really want to use matte gel medium on the inside too, because the matte gel medium is a wet glue, and so it was starting to kind of seep into that chipboard and make it a little bit warped and wonky, and so I wanted to be careful. When you see me heat up my washi tape, that's because the heat activates the adhesive and makes it stick even better, and that way I can make sure the washi tape isn't going to peel up from that. So these are the printables that you get when you order the kit from Dayspring. They send you a printable file, and so you have these as die cuts in the kit also, but I wanted to save those for Bible journaling, and so I just took the printable sheet and cut these out, and I'm going to use these to kind of dress up the front of this mini book. And I printed them on white cardstock, and it was a little bit stark since we had antiqued the front of that cover, so I just add a little bit of that gathered twigs distress ink to the die cuts as well. And then here is the sticker, the badge sticker that comes in the devotional kit, and I 100% adhere it down crooked. So, like I said, I'm rushing, guys. I'm trying to get this done so I can pack, and it is hot. We have no air conditioning. It's 90 degrees in my house. I am dying today, but it was fun to get a chance to dive into all of this. So to adhere these down, I am using a liquid glue just because it's a little bit stronger than the dry adhesive. And since I'm adhering over that matte gel medium and all that stuff that's going on the front, I want to make sure these pieces stay down really well. And then I have these Dear Lizzie thickers, and I'm just taking a pale Duranium Lake big brush marker and coloring these in. I wanted a little pop of red, and I'm going to add the 2018 date. That way I can tell the difference from all of my notebooks and mini books that this is Revival Camp from this year. I'm going to dry those so I don't smudge that ink. And at this point, that red is super bright. So I'm again taking that gathered twigs distress ink and just sponging just a little bit of it over the red portion just to kind of dirty it up a little bit. And then I can go ahead and stick those down. And everything ends up kind of crooked and wonky and not perfect, but you know, that's okay. It's handmade, guys. But I really like how that came out, and those really stand out by using that red. So I've gone ahead and pulled out the stamp set from the devotional kit, and I'm going to stamp this phrase that says Heartbeat for God onto this little mini label, and that label is also part of the printables that you get from Dayspring. And I'm just stamping that with some VersaFine Onyx Black ink. And then I decided to incorporate some pieces from the All People, All Nations cardstock stickers. I wanted to pull in some more of that red. It's more of an orange on these stickers, but that's okay. I just felt like it needed a little bit of that color and not just at the numbers. So I'm just going to layer a sticker up behind that label. I thought about adding some more to the front, but I didn't want it to get too busy on the front of here, so I just kind of left it at that. Adhered that down with some liquid adhesive. And now we can start assembling things. So I'm using a We Are Memory Keepers Crop-A-Dile. This is specially made to cut through heavy things like chipboard. And so it has 2 different sized holes, and you can kind of adjust the guide on the side. And so I'm just eyeballing and punching 2 holes in the side there, and then I'll line it up with the back side and draw in there to give myself a guide to make sure all my holes are lined up. So then I can go ahead and punch the back cover as well. And then here are the devotionals. You can use the devotionals that are the printouts you get in the kit, but these are the ones that I printed on cardstock from the free printable that you get, and just because they're a little bit thicker. And so that I went ahead and cut those down and punched holes in those as well. And now I have some book rings. These are ones that I found at Office Depot, and it had an assortment of sizes. I believe that these are 3/4 inch. They're definitely not 1 inch rings. They're a little bit smaller. And I figured that this book isn't going to get too chunky, so I wanted to use a little bit smaller rings. And now everything is adhered down in there, and you can see I've got room to write on the left hand side as I'm working on the devotional. The first devotional is just an intro from Shauna, so there really isn't any devotional content on there that I would be note taking about or anything like that, so it kind of worked out that way. And then here is the card that comes in the devotional kit that's got information about the kit. It's got the products that were included. It's got the color chart. And I thought it might be fun to add this to the Benny book just so it's not floating around my office. It's all in one place. So I did need to cut it down just a smidge so that it'll fit in the front. And then I can just adhere a little hinge of washi at the top. And then if there are cards in the future kits, I can just layer them up like a little flip book kind of on the inside here and have them all in one place. And so now I can add in more devotionals. I can add in extra pieces of scrapbook paper if I want, or die cuts, anything I want, I can add into this little mini book and kind of work through the devotional in there. So that is it for the project. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave those down below. Head on over to the blog for more close-up photos and links to all the products that I used. Go grab that kit if you haven't grabbed it yet. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.